Right, so has the Quran been corrupted as the Bible has been corrupted and the Torah has been corrupted according to the Islamic community? So this is the question of today. Has the Quran equally been corrupted or corrupted on the same level as the Christian Bible and the Jewish Torah? Let's get into it. So basically, recently David Wood, the notorious D. Wood, has discovered some passages that actually refer to potential corruption. The word that is being used in a literal sense in English, referring to this corruption, this form of corruption in the Quran, is called shredding. Now, anybody that just thinks about it knows that shredding refers to tearing something up, tearing up a piece of paper, tearing clothes, ripping something into pieces. That's something people are going to think about when they think about shredding. Now, if you apply it to Holy Scripture, if you apply it to the Holy Quran, then that means that someone in time got critiqued or criticized for doing the same thing, whether it was shredding a piece of paper out of the book, whether it was shredding it into pieces. I can't say, because it doesn't give enough context, and David Wood isn't giving enough context either. He's just referring to that specific passage where it apparently gets acknowledged that it took place, happened, or is true, facts. Now, it depends on what school of thought you align with if it comes to Islam. And many people are probably going to say, like, look, this is just a symbolic reference. It's when you're messing things up and you're not actually going accordingly as it used to be at the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. That's a sin, that deserves a capital punishment, and that's the type of a remark. You messed things up, you shredded it up. Or it was literally done and people got dealt with according to Sharia law back in the days, and they had to reconstruct it, because if you just look at time, if you just focus on science and historical evidence, you will see that a larger portion of the Quran already existed, predated Muhammad. And people will always come at me and say, no, that's not true, you're lying. I'm not making this statement. I'm saying it's not me making the statement. I'm just repeating something that can be found in a documentary of about 8 years old by Tom Holland. Look it up and come up with your own opinion, but I'm just using this for the sake of argument, counter argument. Now, as follows, if you just think about that, you have the very basis that forms the Quran, and then you add the revelations that the Holy Prophet Muhammad had. Then you can say, people probably messed up trying to compile, write things down as the scribes did, if it comes to the physical format, and they got called out for it and it got captured into his historical scripture. There is proof of it, and that's basically what David Wood is talking about, that it's an event just like the burning of the Qurans by Uthman happened, and the shredding of the Quran happened too. And the main point he wants to make, or wanted to make, by making his video, what I'm doing, giving my opinion on, is that he wanted to make it clear, if you point to the Christians and tell them you corrupted the Christian Bible, we don't believe you, we don't follow you. If you point at the Hebrew Israelites, you tell them you still use the Torah, but it's not the original one that Moses had. And then the only scriptures you should be following in today's day and setting is the Quran, because that's the only thing that still is preserved and there are no alterations being made to it. Well, that's always has been the argument, but then if you bring this passage, this surah in, what does that mean? Then both or all or none have had some tampering. People want to admit it, people want to dismiss it, people will accept it. But who is lying? Who is lying? If it's captured in historical scripture and it can be provided as evidence, physical evidence that it happened, this event, then you have to accept it, nevertheless, what religion you are. But if it hasn't happened and people are using it just for slander to dismiss potential credibility, that's the thing. You always got to figure out what person's agenda is. But I personally think that at the end of the day, if everybody is going to point fingers at each other within the Abrahamic traditions and say, look, you've rewritten the Torah, you've taken Gospels out, and you've basically messed up the Quran so it's not in its true essence scripturally, then none of those traditions should be followed according to the same argument, because it's not complete, it's not true anymore to its original, so you can't really go with it and, you know, follow the religion 100%. So yeah, this is a tricky one.